Hello everyone, it's Dark here with another video. In this video I want to introduce a class to the Final Fantasy XIV community in World of Warcraft, which is, I think is quite interesting, and if they ever want to try out the game, I would highly recommend them to try this class that I'm showing here, and I think you'll enjoy it a lot as there's really nothing like it in Final Fantasy XIV. The format of the video is going to be me talking about some of the comments and feedback I got on the previous video, and then after that I will actually talk about druids. So I will put timestamps in the description so that people don't feel like their time is getting wasted. So in the previous video that I uploaded when I was talking about endgame gearing in dungeons and comparing Final Fantasy and World of Warcraft, we got a lot of comments with pointing out like some mistakes that I made with regards to Final Fantasy XIV, some feedback from the WoW community about maybe some of the things not being accurate. And I appreciate all that feedback, and one of my goals is for us to build a community together where we can discuss things and opinions in a polite and chill environment, and help each other out. You guys taught me a lot in the comments in both games actually, so I think it's good if we can have conversations about different aspects of both games and hopefully first of all learn from each other, and I think in the process make both games better. From my part, if if I made a mistake in some of the things, which I will try to which I do think I did, and I'll try to fix in a subsequent video, but I don't mean to upset anyone in the community, and I'm just trying to build a community with both, Final Fantasy XIV players and WoW players, as I've actually enjoyed both games. So with that being said, I also want to thank you all for the support. There was massive support on that video and even the previous videos. A lot of encouraging comments, and I appreciate it. So the class that I want to introduce to all of you in the Final Fantasy XIV community are druids in World of Warcraft. Now druids can have 4 different specializations that you can choose from, and you can freely change between them as you wish. You have balance, which is a ranged DPS that uses nature spells. You have feral, which is a melee DPS, and you become a cat. You have guardian, in which is a tanking specialization, and you become a bear. And you have restoration, where you are a healer. Now for the sake of this video, I want to actually focus on restoration druid, because I think it's one of the most unique healers, and there's nothing like it in Final Fantasy XIV, and I think a lot of you will enjoy it. It'll be a fresh and new experience to try it out. Now, what makes a druid really fun, and why I think it will be the most fun class for any of you guys to try out, is that they can shapeshift into different forms, which gives them unique abilities. And so, for example, you can become a cat, and you can go into cat form, and you then become a melee DPS basically, and you get a lot of unique abilities that you can use. For example, a lot of them are bleeds. Feral druids or cats are notorious for putting a lot of bleeds on a target. You have bear form, which you can change into at an instant, and this again gives you another set of unique abilities which you can use. And as a bear, you have extra armor and extra HP, and you gain all these different abilities that you see here. You have travel form, which is used for moving around. So rather than mounting as a druid, you can just go into travel form, and it's quite cool because there's no casting. Whenever you want to actually get on a mount, you need to cast, but as a druid, you can immediately shapeshift and move around, which is quite awesome. And you shapeshift into different animals based on where you are. So if you're underwater, you actually become a seal. And you have the normal form, as you can see here. And in the normal form, you can use a lot of your normal abilities, like your heals, some of your spells, etc. Now, as a healer, as a Resta Druid, you have access to a lot of small heals over time, rather than big heals. So I'll showcase it to you here, and this makes the playstyle quite interesting. So if you look at the top right where you'll see a lot of my heals, I can put 1 heal, 2 heal, 3, 4, and these are all, you can see all these like small numbers popping up on my screen. You can basically put all these, for example, on the tank or on your party members, and then you can actually go into cat form and actually go in DPS, okay, because you don't need to actually sit there and continuously heal. You have all your heals on the tank, for example, and you can actually start doing damage in cat form. Put your bleeds on them, and then you can, again, change back into human form. You can, if you can't get close to actually DPS, you can actually use your nature spells to actually put even more dots on the target. So you can do a lot of good DPS as a Resta Druid, but you need to consistently shape shift into different forms to heal, to go into cat, to put your bleeds on, to do some damage, and you can also go into bear form to soak damage. So if there's a mechanic in a fight and you know that there's going to be some AoE or some damage is going to be coming your way, you can immediately go into a bear form to actually soak that damage. So it's very involved. Like, there's a lot of things that you can do as a druid, and that's what makes it so fun to play. And what it also does is it makes the difference between like a good just a normal druid and a very good druid, it's very different. So like the difference in skill level as a healer, and even in PvP, it's even more noticeable, because you need to be able to manage all of these shapeshift into different forms, and help the team out. Besides all of this, besides what I just showed you, druids also have a whole lot of utility as well. I will just point out some of them. For example, Resta Druids are one of the classes that can res someone while in combat, right? And they can, it's not like Final Fantasy XIV where most of the healers, I believe, can do it. Resta Druid is one of the healers that can actually, res someone. It's a 10-minute cooldown, but they can do it. You have a stun if you talent into it. You need to go close to the target and you can stun them. You also have a cool ability called Vortex, where you put it in an area, and anyone who tries to get out of this area will get sucked back in. You have a root. You can actually root an enemy in place. It has a cool animation as well. It kind of puts roots around them to make them stop moving. You have an ability to put beasts into sleep as well. And another cool thing about druids is you can actually break out of any slow or any roots by shapeshifting. So if I get rooted and I go into cat form, that root's going to get removed. If I get rooted in cat form, I can go, for example, into bear form, or I can just go back to human form, and it would break the root. So it's very hard. I'm not going to say it's very hard. It's impossible to root a druid or slow them, because they can constantly shapeshift out of it. And last but not least is you can go into stealth as a druid. So in cat form, you can actually go to stealth as well. Right now I'm in combat, so let me get out of combat. So I can go into stealth and utilize that to go around mobs or however way that is needed. So as you can see, the kit is so vast, and that's why I think a lot of you will have a lot of fun if you decide to try out World of Warcraft, whether it be TBC or Shadowlands. Give Druid a go just so you can experience it. I think you'll have a lot of fun, and I think it'll give you a good perspective into a class design. So with that being said, I'm going to end this video. Thank you all for watching. I hope it was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.